Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 9 of May 2021. Welcome to video number 309. Today I want to talk about something that is which we're under constant attack. And if we're gonna fall under that, we're gonna basically destroy ourselves, our relationship, and our family if we have one. I want to talk about our and ladies' version of thinking with, sorry for my French, with our dick. You see, there's one rule that kind of explained a lot and helped me to figure out many interesting things and having discoveries about us guys and our ladies and relationships in general. That there's always a duality. There's always like a mirroring in between us. That there are things which are happening or which are important for us and for them. Some of them have the same way they are shown, and some of them have completely different way of kind of need for them to be. Meaning that some things are basically we have the same need but different way of getting it fulfilled. Few simple examples. Let's say that we both sexes or genders want to be loved. That's that simple. And there's a negative example as well, which says that if I'm gonna sleep with someone, it's gonna be cheating for my girl, and if she's gonna sleep with someone, which is not me, then it's gonna be cheating for me. That's that simple. The same thing, the same thing, and the same way it I don't know it is or it's portrayed. But there are also examples in which we differ. Simple thing is like objective thing or normal, which is supposed to be understood and known by now, is that we both genders think, but we think differently. Meaning, us guys, we think in very simple term. We are rather looking towards achieving goal. We are like visionaries. We are looking into the future. And we can think about just one thing at a time. That's why we are like a laser focus. But when you look at our girls, their way of thinking is completely different because they think about everything all the time, which in our case we are capable of just sitting looking at the wall, and that would be sufficient because we can think about nothing. They think all the time, and they're very detailed. They're thinking about here and now, and that's why they're great with kids. That's why they can handle everything, whatever happens. They can cook at the same time, take care of the kids, doing laundry and talking to her friend and watching the television. We couldn't. But there's also a negative thing, which might cause some issues, like the way we unload or the way we kind of vent after coming back, let's say, from work. You had a tough day, and you come home. What do you want to do? Most of us guys, we would just want to sit down, do nothing, or do some mindless entertainment, like watch our game or watch the game, or I don't know, play computer games, whatever, just to have some time just to clear our mind. What our girls want to do? They want to come and talk to you. It might be a problem because there's the same need but different way of expressing it. But because because we kind of chill doing nothing, thinking about nothing, our ladies, they vent and they kind of dump their emotions out by talking about it. And that's why it might cause some issues, because if you're coming home and you want just to sit down and do nothing, and she comes and talk to your ear, it's nagging and it's not helping. It's kind of the contrary. But the same thing is going to happen if she comes home and she wants to talk about it and you just don't want to listen. Or even worse, you try to fix her problem by saying, "Oh, you're supposed to do this or that." No, just shut up and listen. She's not talking to you because she wants some solutions. She wants to dump her emotions and kind of spit it out so she could, vent from what happened during the day. So That's the rule. There are things that we both need, and some of them express themselves the same way, some of them express themselves completely different way. And if you understand that, you can manage this and do something about it, and then kind of make a rules. Maybe one day we're just gonna be quiet for an hour or for 30 minutes. Another day I'm gonna be there for her to listen to whatever she wants to say. Simple thing. But the more you know about it, the more you can do something about it. That's that simple. But going back to the theme of today's video, there's a thing which we are under constant bombardment. In our case, the thing that might destroy us and our relationships is the moment that we, as I said, sorry again for my French, thinking with our dick. Because the major thing that we need to learn to mature is to control sexuality. Because so many of men, and because of this over-sexualization, in this day of age, many men are basically looking to sleep with whatever moves. And that's a really bad move if you're in a relationship. And it's a really bad move if you've got kids. And it just shows that you cannot control it. Second, that you don't understand it. And three, that you're basically not a material for a relationship or family. That's it. And maybe I'm going to talk about it next week, because there are a few things you can do, how to control it, how to understand it, why it derails so many of guys. And even the major figures, from any level of sports or politics or whatever, you can find guys who basically the whole careers are destroyed just because guys slept with some woman, not even the same level of influence or fame. Why would we do this? And maybe I'm going to talk about it next week, but today I want to kind of show you what is the women's equivalent to thinking with her, in that particular case, with her dick. In their case, their penis are their emotions. Because look, if you compare these two, it's exactly the same thing. You can see that you are under constant bombardment. They think all the time. They cannot stop. The thing is basically, if you don't control it, it's going to overwhelm you, and it's going to push you to do something really stupid with a dramatic consequence. Have you ever seen a situation when a girl basically, I don't know, you said something which was just simple comment without no like a malevolent motive behind it, and she took it personally, and then she made a scene. How many times you've seen ladies who are falling into depression because some situation or something that happened months ago, and now she's making a scene and making your whole vacations ruined, or even she's not talking to you for a few days or a week. I even know the situation when a girl had a dream about her guy, and she made next few days complete misery for him and for her, because something that he never done, something that he never even knew about, because it was her dream. That seems legit to you? And how many relationships that after months or years of being together, she gets to the point that she feels bad about the place that she finds herself in, and before anything, she's just making a decision, leaves you or the guy, and then you found out that she had a problem with something the moment she just packed her stuff and left the door. How is that logical? But you see, this is the whole point, that the problem with not understanding this thing is, in our case, we say that all the time, and it's kind of thrown in our face. But we rarely talk about emotions that derail so many of relationships. Do you know the statistics? That the 80% of divorces are filed by women. I would understand that would be 50, 60. Let's say it's straight. There are guys that's supposed to be buried under the prison, and some guys that's supposed to be dumped because they're simply not good material for anything, not even talking about family. But 80%? I don't think so. Have you ever thought why so many marriage counselors are saying that they're stunned by the numbers, that they see couples coming to them, and when he or she asks a guy, what is the state of your relationship? The guy will say, we've got our issues, up and downs, but everything is great. But they're going to ask her, and she says, I'm leaving here in a month. You see, a few days ago, I talked with one of my friends, and she is divorced herself. And she told me very interesting things. She said, yep, you've got to know that this is the truth, that so many women, like most of us, we're projecting on you things that we have in our heads, and we think about it, and we want you to guess, we want you to know. But if you look how we think, it completely makes no sense, because we are thinking about one thing, and we never overthink things, at least most of the guys. But in ladies' example, they think all the time, and one of the things that they do is they what if, because they have to think about something, so many times they drive themselves crazy and go in this downward spiral because something happened, and then now they're blowing it out of proportions. And then one of the crazy things happens. They get emotional, and their emotions override everything that they think, every logical conclusion, every logical thinking, and they make a decision being under influence of those heavy emotions. And the results, as in our case, sleeping with someone, cheating, destroying a relationship, the same thing happens here. So you see, I don't really know how to talk about it to ladies. Maybe they just need to hear this or hear it from a lady. And I saw a few of them, and I really had a huge amount of respect to them, that they said some of the things that I'll say in a second about solutions to that. But I don't know, it's just my theory, but I see how much destruction it brings. So we need to learn how to deal with this, both of us. So there are 3 things that I think might help you. What they're going to save you, I don't know. But I'm just going to propose it, so maybe it'll help you in your case, especially if you're in the middle of this kind of thing. First of all, you've got to set a rule that there will be no verbal, not even mentioning physical, aggression. Because, as I said so many times, whenever extreme emotions come into play, logical thinking flies out of the window. Even my wife told me today that if there's a scientific discovery, then when you're under huge influence on cortisol, which is like a prolonged state of stress, which is what happens when you think about, for months about things that happened, and you kind of grow it out of proportions. I think frontal cortex is switched off, meaning that the part of the brain which helps you to think clearly and make logical decisions. So if that is shut down, why would you expect to make logical decisions? You won't. So that's why, if you see that you're getting angry, that you cannot control your emotions in your relationship, you've got an argument, you know that it's going to explode. Stop, go to your room, go for a walk, go for a run, whatever you need to do, just calm down, and then come back and talk about it. Because without controlling your emotions, without having this ability to not scream at each other, and not, raise your hands on each other, you're not going to make it. Second thing that you have to have, especially as a guy, you have to set up rules, like boundaries. One of them being, we've got to respect each other. And this is something that I heard for some of the ladies that said, your lady needs and wants boundaries, which was fascinating, and I really respected that they were able to say something like this. Because you see, how is that respectful? If she's making an argument based on something that you said, that you never had a malevolent motive behind it. And you can see that over and over again, all the time. That she interprets it as she wants it, and then she explodes without reason, and you just feel guilty because of saying something. If you know that you're emotional, control your emotions, and better ask what I meant, rather than accusing me of something that I never said. Second, how is that respectful if, like in this example, that you use something that never happened, your what if or your dream, to make my life miserable? How is that respectful? And 3, how is that respectful that after months or years of thinking that something is wrong, never talking about it, wishing that I would have a crystal ball to read your mind, and then you just make a decision and leave before even telling me about it. There is no respect. It's completely disrespectful behavior. Because after that, even if you think that there's a chance to solve the problem, to get back together, many times it's not, because she made a decision. There's nothing you can do. The decision was already made. You're done. She can put the situation that you think that there's a chance, but there is none. How is that respectful? So that's why you've got to demand respect. And you've got to do everything that you do, no matter how you feel, no matter what you think. You've got to do everything for the betterment of the relationship. If you don't do this, there's no respect. Then your relationship is done. And point number 3, for the love of God, learn to talk to each other. If you need, find the best person on the internet that teaches that, buy the course, do that. If you need, go take some counseling, do whatever it takes. You've got to learn to talk to each other. We don't have a crystal ball, and we never will. You can learn how to do some things or how to be better to fulfill her needs, which are much broader than ours, but that's a subject of its own. But if she'll never tell you, how can you learn? So that's simple. If you need something, just learn to talk about it. And it goes both ways, us and hers. If you want to have more this or that, ask her for it. But you've got to understand, what do you really need? What really drives you nuts? And then ask for it and kind of bring a solution to the table, right? Learn how to talk to each other. So, no physical and no verbal aggression, respect and doing everything for the relationship to prosper. And 3, learn how to talk to each other. Listen, this is what I want you to take from this video. To build any type of good relationship or becoming a person who is someone that you can trust, someone that you can be proud of looking at yourself in the mirror, you've got to learn that you will have to grow up. You'll have to be mature. And for us guys, that will be one of the things would be to control our sexuality. For ladies, it would be to control their emotions and to learn how to deal with that. Without us maturing, there's no way to create something that will work for ourselves, for us as a family, for us as a society or community. It's just never going to work. So think about it and do something about it. Because whether you're going to thrive, whether you're going to burn in flames, it's your choice. If you like this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, comment as well. Tell me what you think and what is your experience. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, just give me a shout. I'll be glad to do it for you. And that being said, see you next time.